Saucy. That one's really saucy. How is school going? But like, we're going to talk about this in the show. But like, how is school going? Like, are you? You seem to be alive.
I am alive. I'm alive for now because I haven't started studying for the bar yet. I think that's why I'm still alive. So, but yeah, other than that, it's going really well. I mean, I'm the producer for the American Bar Association podcast too.
Mm-hmm.
I do that like on the side, even though it's free. Like I don't get paid for it, but just one of those things I can put on my resume and be like, "Hey, I was this producer for a real podcast." But it's going really well. I've got 4 classes this semester. Graduate in May. Done.
That's so awesome.
And then I spend 2 months studying for the bar and hope I pass.
Well, that was going to be my question. Was how long is it between graduation and taking the bar?
The bar is like the last week of July, and I basically take a vacation to go down to Alabama to graduate from the school I'm actually a student at, where I'm going to be getting my diploma, and then I come back home and then start studying. My bar prep class goes from like May 20 something till like the beginning of July. So
okay,
it's every day.
No, do you like, not you, because I know you will, but do people generally like, do they expect to pass the bar the first time, or is it one of these like, because I hear of people taking it several times.
Mm-hmm.
So is it? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say most people assume that they're going to pass the bar, but I think like the average for most schools is somewhere between like 70 and 90%, depending on the school.
Okay, so that's
not bad.
Not bad.
Legitimate amount of people.
You just have to pick 3 people that you just have to beat.
Yeah.
Take a line of 10 and be like, you 3 need to fail so I can win.
You aren't gonna make it.
It's weird too because they weight the bar like across the country. So everybody that takes the bar on that day, like all of you like are kind of like in a giant pool of people, and then they're like you're all kind of compared to each other, and then they set the score. And I think on average, most states, it's something around like a C that you have to get. That's like would be the equivalent of a C to pass the bar. So you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be good enough.
Average, just average.
Yeah, as long as you're average, you can make it.
Well, that's what I've always said. People are like, like, oh, I went to my doctor and they this, or like I did research, or like any professional. It's like there's somebody that passed, like that barely passed, and then there's somebody else that had to take that test 10 times. Like,
yep.
And that doesn't, like, I know that doesn't necessarily mean that there's, like that you're not good at it, but yeah, no, that's. I don't know what I could do, like what I would do in my life at this point if I was facing like a bar type examination. Like that's a legit amount of pressure.
It's crazy. Like you get, you can still keep taking it, but you got to pay like $1,000 every time you take it. So it's like, how many times do you want to do it? I actually worked for a judge, and his clerk had to take the bar 3 times. And it wasn't that he didn't know what was on the bar. His wife, it always revolved around his wife having kids. And the first time he tried to take it, he went to take the bar, and it's a 2-day thing. And in between the 2 days, his wife had their first kid. So he was like, well, I guess I'm busy. Can't go take the bar now. Not to mention the fact that you're like already like discombobulated probably when your wife is about to have a kid and everything. And then the second time he took it, his wife they had one of their third or something kid like right before. And so he just was like completely out of it. Just didn't work. And so he took it the third time. He was like, I gotta pass. And he made it. And now he has his own firm. So he's doing pretty well.
Wow. That's the thing. Like passing that test is no indication of your eventual success. But
yeah, it's just a pressure cooker is all it is. Like,
yeah,
here's everything you learned for 3 years. And most of it is stuff you learned your first year. And it's like, here you go. You're going to have to get tested on that. So like the bar prep course is basically like a refresher of like your first 6 classes that you take in law school.
Wow.
So you're thinking back like 3 years and you're like, hope I learned that really well, because if I didn't, it's going to be pretty tough.
Your first year when you're like goofing off and you're like, this isn't that bad. Like, yeah, fine.
Exactly.
Oh man, I can tell you, I got a lot of respect because you were not in school and went back to school, if I'm correct.
Yep.
I did that, but like just for an associate's degree, and having come out of, I was out of college in 2005. I went back to school, and I want to say 2012, and just reteaching myself how to like you don't realize, like, you don't know how to study unless that's part of your job and continuing education or something like that. I have no idea how to study anymore. There's no way I could pass a test on anything. You can tell me something right now and then ask me at the end of the show. I'm gonna have no idea.
It's
absolutely no clue.
And it's weird. Like my undergrad, like I was really good at science, and my undergrad was mostly microbiology. And so like I was just like, boom, got this, and I was doing really well. And I hardly studied at all. I was like one of those slacker kids that could just do really well in school.
I hated you.
And then you get to law school, and it's like there's no way you can't even survive day to day if you don't do that. So it was like a whole like, oh, I actually have to read, and now like I've got a giant bookcase of books that I've read all of them because I had to, and I'm like, this is more books than I read like my whole life. Read more pages out of all these books. They're all like, 1,000-page law books, and now they're all like, you could, if you hold them like horizontally, you can see like where all the pages are all wrinkled and stuff because I've read them. And all my other undergrad books, they look brand new, most of them. So
like half of them you buy them, then you go into class and they're like, yeah, we're not really, everything's gonna be online, and just take notes and you'll pass the test. You don't need the book. We're not going by that. Thank you for purchasing it. That's if I could take a time machine, I would go back and help start the textbook industry, because the fact that they're still coming out with new algebra books blows my mind. Like, algebra hasn't changed.
Yeah.
But the new book is $300. The old book was $8. Thank you.
Yep. I actually got lucky this semester. I have 2 classes. I have one class that didn't have a book, so I was like, oh, sweet. That's like $200 I have to spend on one book. And the other one is a book that hasn't come out yet. So our professor just sends us the PDFs of like the draft pages before it's been published. So
that worked out well.
I was like, sweet. I saved a lot of money on books this semester. I'll take that.
Oh,
wow. I'll just take that and put that into bar prep, because that costs a lot of money too. So
okay,
so everything you do in law school is like, here's a lot of money. Just put it somewhere.
Yeah, just throw this at things. So last question, then we'll get going. When you pass the bar exam, do they immediately give you a law library's worth of books to line your mahogany line, like, or do people actually buy all of those? Like, it seems like every time I go into a lawyer, they have a lot of books.
You have to buy them. I'm pretty sure you get contacted by like West Publishing or something, and they're like, hey, we can give you a deal on like all of the statutes for your state. You can line your law office with. My aunt actually, she actually went to like Goodwill stores when she was an attorney, and she went and found tons of just random law books, like things that didn't even apply to her practice. And she used those to line her office just so that she could look really cool.
It looks fancy. Like, you have a lot of books. I'm going to trust you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Keep all my school books because they all look cool,
That's why I have all my school books, because I just have a bookshelf of like biology and physics and things I've never studied anymore. But I'm like, I did that once. Look at me.
Did that. I don't remember what podcast I guessed it on a podcast like several months ago, and they asked one of their, or no, was it in here? Somebody asked the question, like, find the nearest book to you and open to page 236.
It was here. It was when we had,
and read the first question.
Darius?
It might have been
Darius. Was it Darius?
I had to leave, go out of the room, like go to a box. Here is the largest book that I currently own. It is the manual for my Scimitar Corsair Gaming RGB mouse.
Nice.
Everything's like audio for me because I don't have to study. And anyway, let's do a podcast. Frosty doesn't want to be here till 2:00 in the morning, even though Turarts and I will be. A little bit of a teaser there, guys. After the show, we're gonna hang out with Frosty for a little bit. We will bid him a fond adieu, and then Turarts and I are actually gonna hang out, and we're gonna imbibe some adult beverages and play something. I don't. Yeah, she's drinking Arbor Mist. I have watermelon vodka. It should be amusing. or embarrassing, or just like a horrible train wreck. But either way, you guys should stick around after the show. All right, let us do a show. You should include this pre-show in the show. We totes will. I'll do that. I'll throw it at the end of the show. No, I'll just leave it at the front of the show. Screw it.
Less editing.
Yeah,
less editing.
There you go. Pre-show bonus episode for you fans. There you go. All tens of you will enjoy that. All tens of you. All right, guys. So we're going to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Tired of wiping on the same boss for hours?
Die, insect.
Can't seem to win against that new druid deck?
My thanks to you.
Are your teammates not standing on the payload?
Quit lollygagging. Get on the payload.
Well, grab a drink and pull up a chair. This is the Game Case Show, your Blizzard Entertainment podcast. Here are your hosts, Cuddles and Turarts.
Well, hello, hi, howdy, and welcome to episode 70 of the Game Case. And I'm gonna like break out of this for half a second because I just realized we've done 80 episodes. I can't even read. We've done 80 episodes, and I'm still reading the intro. Like I can't do that off the cuff. I'm Ron Burgundy. I am Chris, also known as Cuddles, a Brewmaster Monk on Airy Peak in the Convert to Raid Guild.
And I'm Turt, a Beast Mastery Hunter, also in the Convert to Raid Guild on Airy Peak server.
This week we're going to talk a little bit about our week in gaming, answer some questions from the Cuddle crew, and then we're going to be talking to one of my favorite people in the Blizzard universe and an amazing part of a incredible cosplay team and absolutely indescribably awesome podcaster. And I will say he gives incredible hugs and smells slightly of elderberries. Frostee Fox, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing fantastic. I will take the elderberries compliment. That's but I am very, very glad to be here. And when I got the message to be on the show, I was like, of course I'm going to be here. I'm not going to turn down a chance to be here. Two of my favorite people out there in the podcast world.
Oh, we love that. Well, we both are so appreciative that you're taking time out of your, if you listen to the pre-show, very full schedule to be with us tonight. How was your week of life?
The week of life has been pretty good. I just had a bunch of midterms last week. So right now I'm like in celebratory mode. So I'm like, yes, no more tests for a while. And, dreading the next couple months where I have to like go and write a bunch of papers. But, for now I can party. So
why don't we dive right there? That's just like now we can party.
Yeah, party for a while. I mean, partying involves like not having to stress about a test for now. That's about the extent of it.
Partying involves going to bed and actually shutting your eyes and sleeping. Like
yes,
having a little time to game in there,
Yes. And actually, speaking of gaming, why don't we dive right into what we've been up to this last week within or outside of the Blizzard universe? Frostee, why don't you kick it off? What have you been up to with gaming?
Excellent. Well, with gaming, my wife has gotten way back into HOTS, which means that I have gotten way back into HOTS. And, this is all spawned by the Year of the Rooster event and the recent for Azeroth event and all that. So just getting back into that. And we started getting into competitive, trying to beat the end of the season so we can get the mounts, see how high we can climb, see if we can get some cool stag mounts for the season. And then in World of Warcraft, our raid team, Room of the Moose here in CTR, is 5 of 10. We kind of went through a little reshuffle, but we're 5 of 10 normal and making our progress through the Nighthold now that we're kind of got our feet back under us. So that's been a lot of fun. And I guess should I introduce myself as Frosty? I am a feral druid in the Convert to Raid Guild.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, we should have put that in there.
And then on the side, I've been really. This is a game I talked about it, on other shows, but I've really been enjoying Steep. I don't know why. Maybe it's just cathartic to go and go down a slope and not really have any pressure. But I've really enjoyed that game, and I'm getting ready for Horizon Zero Dawn to launch. So Kaz is going out of town this week, and I don't have any exams to study for, which means that game's going to get here, and I'm going to be playing it.
Those are the best time to get games is when they're out of the house and you're like, I can sit here and not feel guilty for not paying attention to you.
Exactly. I will get my tasks done, my chores, and then I'm just going to party. Order pizza every night, Grubhub, whatever.
Oh, do you have Uber Eats yet?
We might. I haven't checked to see if we have it in Denver yet, but we have pretty much every other service.
Oh, you're in Denver? Yeah, no. You get Thai food at 3 a.m. I am jealous. I'm like, no. So I live out in the middle of the country, so it's like you take it for granted when you live in a large metropolitan area. But so it's Sunday right now. It's what? It's well after 10. It's almost 10:30. I could go to, I don't know. There's a 24-hour McDonald's about 12 minutes away. That's it. Literally my little small town, and it's not that small, but my small town rolls up the streets at 6 p.m. on Sundays. It's over. Street lights go out. People it's there. We don't have tumbleweeds. It's Florida. There's just this amalgamation of palm fronds that kind of looks like a tumbleweed. It's really weird. It's a Florida thing, you guys. Anyway,
this is the weekend in Denver. It never sleeps here. So,
do you have do you have snow on the ground?
We actually do. Finally, it has been in the 70s for weeks here. Just I don't know why. When I moved here, all my neighbors were like, "Oh yeah, just wait. It's going to snow so bad and all this." And I lived in Utah for a long time, so I was like, "All right, bring it on." And then it snowed once, and then it was like, okay, and it was kind of cool. And then all of a sudden, the temperature went up and up. It was 80 last week. It was 80 at my house, and then it finally snowed a few days ago.
That was Iowa too. We're like, where's winter? I guess I can go out in shorts in January if you want me to.
Sure, go out and just hang out outside. There's people playing volleyball in our apartment complex the other day, just outside chilling. I was like, this is crazy. It's middle of February, whatever.
In Florida, I'm like winter. What, the 3 days that we got down to 62? What are you talking about? That's it. And I so feel I'm actually terrified about I will be in Boston in 10 days, and I'm terrified because the average temperature, I can't see the forecast because I probably could today, but I haven't been able to see the forecast. The average temp is 32 is the high and 24 is the low, and I know that's not cold for people, but in Florida, same time of year, it's 82, and the low is 81 and a half. And I don't own my winter sandals will not get me through snow. It's not I'm gonna end up with frostbite. I'm actually sometime next week I think I'm gonna do an IRL stream where I'm gonna tweet the heck out of it and get people from up north to help me shop for winter clothing on Amazon because I don't know what to buy. We can't get it. But anyway, Durance, what have you been up to with gaming?
Been very actually relaxed with the gaming world this week. We did host a raid recruitment event Friday and Saturday night. Went smashingly well. We had a ton of teams from CTR in there. We also had 2 Mythic Plus teams come, Murlocs, Pirates and Dragons, and of course the COD Squad. So very exciting to see that. And then I had actually Murlocs, Pirates and Dragons ran me through some Mythics last night. I got an 8 out of the way, which is pretty high. I've done
awesome.
a 3. And so doing an 8, I was like, sweet. I'm last on the damage meter, but that's okay. And then there was 2 other hunters, so they just filtered me all their gear. So thank you. I appreciate it. Other than that, we did some heroes stuff today, trying to get that mount. I think I have 6 games, which means 9 more to go in the next 2 weeks. Totally doable. Get that done. And finally, I was on a little known podcast called Azeroth Roundtable on Friday with John Jager and Ben the Mage. I can't call them just John and Ben. It's John Jager and Ben the Mage. Like there's just, that's the people there. It was tons of fun though. We talked for forever, it felt like. So thank you guys for that. But that was my kind of week in gaming, other than I'm doing that 3D math game that we talked about a few weeks ago. I know, Cuddles, you love it.
Math games, huh?
Don't talk to me about math either.
Wow.
Math games. Cuddles, what have you been up to?
I'll tell you what I haven't been up to, and that's playing math games.
But it's fun.
No, so I was on Twisted Nether last week, or was that a week ago?
2 weeks ago. We were on that on
It just came out. I just saw the tweet
Yeah.
about it. So we were on Twisted Nether blogcast, Stuart's and I both, which was absolutely incredible. And
so much fun.
tomorrow night, I will be recording a new episode of Organized Prime, which this isn't gaming, but sorry guys, I got to plug my stuff. I will be recording a new episode of Organized Prime, which is a podcast about Amazon originals. We're going to be talking about The Patriot. I'm not going to tell you what I think because that's why we do a podcast about it. Outside of podcasting with actual gaming, which was the question that was asked that I totally refused to answer. Tried a little bit of the Ghost Recon Wildlands beta. We played a really fun game called Semispheres this week. That was a whole lot of fun. And outside of that, just I have embarrassingly gotten addicted to H1Z1.
Seems like everybody keeps falling in that hole.
Yeah, you found that hole eventually.
I was like, what is this game? I'm going to play it. And I'm like, this game sucks. I don't want to play it.
Can't stop.
And then 36 hours later, I'm nearly like, I'm drooling on my keyboard and going, I'm in 36th place, but I haven't killed anyone. It's okay. We got this. It hasn't been quite that bad, but I think my highest rank in King of the Kill has been, I think I had a 6th the other day. Without hiding and without trying to do it. Like, it just happened. We got 6 with 0 kills, so we won't talk about that. But it's been a whole lot of fun and playing a lot of Elite Dangerous. Because, again, sorry, shameless, selfless plug here. The 11th and 12th from PAX East on the floor of the convention, I'm going to be streaming from the Frontier booth from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be streaming Elite Dangerous. This is like a first for me. I'm really excited. The developer actually gave me a slot to sit at their computer and stream their game. So I don't know. I might be doing Twitch wrong, but I feel like things are going right. I don't know.
That's pretty awesome. I got to admit, that is pretty awesome.
So
I call that a win.
Yeah, like the Twitch thing on a gaming update note, the Twitch thing is really starting to work. And it's been about a year in the making. For those that don't follow me on Twitch, you should. I'm just plugging shit. Like, I'm not even talking about gaming. Twitch.tv/thegamecase. You should follow it. But why don't we dive into questions for the show? Our first question from the Cuddle Crew this week comes from Totemly Drunk. But before we read it, you may be sitting at home. You have your new Apple iPod, EarPod, MacBook Pros in your ear. And you're going, I want to ask a question for the show. However, could I do that? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. You're going to go to bit.ly/CuddlesDiscord. That's bit.ly/CuddlesDiscord. And you're simply going to join the Discord. There is a voice channel that says questions for the show. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you can't figure out which voice channel it is, or which text channel it is, I said voice. I'm wrong. I'm going to stop talking. What was the question from Totem?
The question from Totem is, do you think Blizzard should ban new heroes and maps in competitive mode during the first few weeks of a new Overwatch season?
That one's definitely for Frosty. Let's go to you first.
Okay, so when I was thinking about this, I think that here's my idea. I don't think that they should ban them. But I think instead Blizzard should release new heroes between seasons for 2 reasons. Then we don't have to have it even deal with it like in the middle of the season or anything like that. And we know when they're going to release new heroes. We just know what's going to happen. We don't have to be like, oh, is it going to happen next week? Kind of like what's going on right now. Like, when is this nebulous time going to occur? So we could say like between every season, we could always have that speculation. And then in the season, we have the stability. So I'll take it like that. I think Heroes gets way chaotic, for example. Like,
oh god, yeah.
Always just introducing new heroes, and I'm like, just calm down.
There's we did that Heroes play today, real quick. I know this isn't a question, but real quick, and I was like, oh my god, since I don't play very often, but since last time I played like 3 months ago, there's like a ton of new things happening, and I don't know what to do. So we're just gonna wing this.
Who's this Lucio guy in here, right?
Yeah. Oh, I hate him. Oh, I hate him. The AI had him. None of our guys had him. The AI had him, and every time I'm like, Lucio.
Lucio. Lucio.
No.
Yeah.
If they do not make a Rufio Lucio skin, and like, why is that not a thing? Like, why is that not happened? But I really wanted to talk about this because I think no. I don't think that they should ban new heroes. I don't think that they should ban maps. They don't do that. And I do not come from a like great first person shooter like competitive season mindset on this, but I want to compare it to Hearthstone. Hearthstone, new decks drop, you're playing them. Like, you get them on ladder, and if there's a tournament the next week, they're in them. And generally there is. They'll drop a new Hearthstone deck, and then there's like Hearthstone regionals, or like, it's never Hearthstone championship, but like there's a major Hearthstone championship, and it throws the meta utterly on its ear, and I like that. And there's still like, I don't know, yeah, they're still balancing, there's still maps, they're still learning. But bro, if you're playing Overwatch to be competitive, learn the new heroes, learn the new maps.
I look at it as like, let's introduce some chaos, let's get the Dark Knight in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody gets a little bit bored with the game, and not, I don't want to say bored with the game, but you get into your rut, you get into the meta, you get into Winston is better than Reinhardt in this situation, but now we throw in Flubity Flu, and look at him and his magicy flabbity flies. Like, oh my gosh, where do I use him? I don't know. I'm going to use him over here. Oh, but I'm going to use him over here. Oh, it's magic. Oh, it's magic.
You get all those like cheese strats in, like where people like they figure out this weird thing that one hero can do or something you can do on a map, and you I don't want to call it an exploit, but you use it to your advantage, because you learn it faster or learn a way to do something faster than the other team. So,
in competitive, I think that's important. I think that it's important that you weigh that, and even for tournaments and stuff like that. New hero releases on Tuesday. You have a tournament on Wednesday. He's in. Like that.
This might be like a dumb analogy, but like imagine you're going up against say like the NFL, and the other team's quarterback gets hurt, and all of a sudden they're starting somebody you've never seen before. You just got to adapt to it, and if you don't adapt, you're gonna get burned.
You pray that they suck. That's what you do.
That's what you do. Yeah. You pray that they are not OP.
The next question. I love the next question because Alessandra always has great questions. Two-parter. Number 1. So in Warcraft, you're a major hero. What will your first 3 acts once you are made faction leader of your race next expansion be? So what would that faction be for you, Frostee?
Okay, well, I'm all about Worgen, so of course it's going to be Alliance, and it's going to be Gilneas. And you want to know the 3 acts that I would do?
Yeah.
That would be first we have to rebuild and expand Gilneas, and instead of building a wall, we're going to knock down the wall because we're going to expand our lands, take a lot of that Forsaken land back. It's time.
Claim your land. I love it.
Hold on. Are you going to build a wall and make the Forsaken pay for it?
Oh,
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that joke.
We'll annex their land, and we will.
But I couldn't help it. Please continue.
The second nut, I think it's time that we show the Forsaken what it was like for us. So I think it's time to demolish the Undercity. I mean, first of all, the Undercity is confusing enough to get around.
Oh, it's terrible.
So if we demolish it and they eventually rebuild, hopefully they'll think it out a little bit better. But either way, let's demolish it, just sink it into the ground. At first I thought maybe we should like sink it, just put it underwater, but undead breathe underwater. So we got to just destroy the city. and then, let's just fracture the Horde by bringing the Tauren into the Alliance. Just come on over to our side. Give us everything you got. We'll share with you, and then we'll see what the Horde does after that. So there's my 3 things when I am running them. Gilneas will rise again. We always say that.
I'm going to ask you the second part of the question before I ask Cuddles. So you're the faction leader now. Who are you going to date?
Who am I going to date?
Do you go political, or do you what do you do?
I go political.
Okay.
Greymane's daughter Tess is the heir to the throne right now since Liam is dead. So I will date Tess in an effort to eventually be the official Gilnean leader. There you go.
All right.
Thus one day when Anduin runs away, I always theorize he's going to do like the Wesley Crusher thing that happened like at the end of Star Trek: The Next Generation, disappear. Yep. And so the only people are going to be left are the Worgen, and eventually I could be king after Greymane's gone and take over the Alliance completely. Then we will really rise.
I love it.
Then we'll be our expansion. Like they'll have to put down the rise of the Lycans, kind of like the movie, right?
Yes. Oh, Cuddles, you came in Wrath, or not Wrath, you came in what's that, Warlords, that one. That one. The one that I forget. So this is going to be fun to hear your answers. You are a panda. So what are your acts going to be?
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a Pandaren run brew house in each and every major city. Possibly 3. Because everyone deserves the brew. I did that so horribly.
More Dre night.
I tried to Marconin it, and I can't do his voices. So yeah, there's gonna be more drinking, and then after that, we're also going to open up artisanal cheese shops, which you'll find out about this later. We're gonna open up artisanal cheese shops in each town. And then we're also going to take the music from Pandaria and put it in all the other zones that have crap music, which is all of them that don't have Mr. Pandaria music, because that is awesome. Except for Grizzly Hills, that's kind of cool.
Especially all the other inns.
Yes.
Where you're going to be doing the drinking and the cheese eating. And
yes, basically there's going to be a Pandaria musician everywhere. And
Bard class incoming.
Oh, indeed. As a faction leader, my like everyone, if you've been around for a while, you probably know my main's crush. My main is Cuddles. He and Lorewalker Cho are actually they're out in Pandaria, and they've opened an artisanal cheese shop, which is they're now going to franchise and take it to the other major cities. And that's exactly I'm going to date Laura Walker Cho because he's adorable. Like, why wouldn't you? Come on now. Like my dude is Cuddles. He's Laura Walker. Like, it'll be great. It'll be great. T, you got to go through this hell too.
I know. So I'm a night elf hunter, so I would obviously be a night elf. My 3 acts. Goodness, this is going to be difficult. I don't know
what I would. In every city.
I know. I don't know. That's why I think we could just kind of spread because I love the night elves are very pretty. Like the blood elves minus that row of destruction is absolutely gorgeous as well. So I'm thinking we can kind of get some of our designers together and be like, all right, Azrath, we got to do some things, especially with the Horde because it's just horny spikes. That's it. So, but let's beautify Azrath. We'll go with that one. My second thing would be to get those little, I love the wisps that they have floating everywhere. There needs to be wisps everywhere. Like they just need to be. And it's going to kind of be like carrier pigeons. So if you have a message, never mind the mailbox. You just got to cast her wisp and it's going to get your message where it needs to be. Number 3. Oh, God. I don't know what I do for number 3. I think I'm going to finally install the dance room, the dance party. Like it just needs to happen. They've been teasing for a while, so Night Elves are going to get it done. And we're going to have dance rooms in every major city. As far as who would I date, I have no idea. Like, this is rough. The first thing that comes to mind is just because I love her lore would be Alex Straza, like the Lifebender Red Dragonflight. Because then you have the Night Elves merging with the dragons. And I think that that's going to cause some really awesome, like, future down the road lore. And she's just absolutely stunning. Like, she is gorgeous. But that's what I think I would do. So, good question. Hard one.
I know. Well done, Alessander.
So I went for like the military and political power, and Cuddles went for the financial, economical power, and you went for like the literal just power.
Yeah.
Teaming up with the dragons.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
And Alessander just said that she's single in chat.
There you
I got
go.
this. I'm gonna go to the brews.
Hold on. To clarify for those listening at home, Alex Straza is single.
Alex Straza.
Alessander did not just state
yes.
that she was single in chat. I will not presume her relationship status.
Alex Straza is single. But
love you,
you're going to put those breweries everywhere. So I'm going to get her to a brewery first. And then I'll show her that the Undercity's demolished and be like, look, as the Lifebringer dragon, Undercity's gone. We got this. I'm going to get it.
See, I just want to open up a chain of drinking and eating establishments. This has been a dream for a long time.
You ever put Trios or whatever his name is and Storm went out of business in that cheese shop?
Oh, my God.
You're
I
done.
knew that existed.
I'm coming for you.
Oh, Lord.
So, guys, that was a whole lot of fun. Thank you to Alessander and Totem for the questions this week. Why don't we jump right into the meat and the potatoes? Frostee, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about the man behind the podcast, behind the law school books that is Frostee Fox.
I could build a fort of those law school books and literally hide inside it. So, yeah. Well, I am, of course, a law student, longtime gamer, played WoW since the beginning, essentially. It's, I'm an oldie when it comes to WoW. Never unsubbed, but just barely missed that window for the wolf statue. Aww. So I always lament the fact of that. But you know what? It's all good. I still love the game. I'll go buy my Chinese knockoff on eBay one day to satisfy that, I guess. And I do a lot of podcasting and run we call it the Frozen Fox Media Network now. We just rebranded last year. So we've got a ton of content that we do. And I co-host with my wife, Kaz, the Worgen's Howl for World of Warcraft. And I am also part of Overcast, which is our Overwatch podcast. And got quite a few other. We basically cover anything gaming that you could imagine and more on our network. Other than that, last semester of law school, it's almost here. Just a few more months, and I can graduate. And then I get the joy and the glorious opportunity to study and take the bar and hopefully pass so that I can actually get a job again. And so that my wife can quit her job and focus on her artwork. She's an artist at heart. And I've been very grateful that she has been able to work at home, and she's been willing to do that for a few years. And so now it's a payback. So I got to get a good job to make up for it.
Got to take care of her.
Exactly. So that's pretty much who I am. I do a lot every day. It's either podcast, mix of that, and going to school or studying for school, mixed with dreading taking the bar. And then working on costumes and cosplay with my wife. So
that is awesome. Oh, go on.
I was gonna say we have this in the show notes for later, but I wanna say like Frostee, you said that you're you talked a little bit about your wife and the arts, and You did not use enough amazing adjectives to describe what it is that this incredible young lady. Like, guys, if you, what is it? Casplay?
Casplay, yeah. If you go, you can find it on Facebook. It's Casplay or Kazul Cosplay. It's Casplay on YouTube. If you just go to her Twitter page, it's at Kazul G Fox. It's KAZULGFOX, and you can find links to everything there. If you remember Greymane, the Worgen Greymane, there was a lot of Greymanes. If you remember the Worgen Greymane that was in the costume contest at BlizzCon last year, that was me. And then the Goran the year before was my wife, and the year before she was the Arakoa, and the year before she was the Troll Druid. So that's where we were going when we're gearing up. We've been gearing up for a while, and for this next BlizzCon, so we are already super pumped for that. We've had tons of ideas.
Oh, you do? Okay. I was gonna say, do you have it narrowed down yet? Any teasers? But it sounds like you're still kind of planning.
I can show.
Yeah.
So we don't have like anything built yet, but I'll give you the clue. I have it with me because I knew that this is going to get asked. So tell me if you recognize this guy.
Is that Hogger?
It is.
It is Hogger. Oh my god.
That's who it's going to be this year.
Oh my god. This is going to be amazing.
So
oh my god.
We were talking about it. We wanted to do Thok and have like a Worgen Hunter with Thok, but where we live right now, we just couldn't do it. So we're like, we got to do something more, where we can like fit it in the apartment, because we're living in an apartment right now instead of a house. And so we were like, well, what can we do? And we were looking at that, and we really like Hogger. Everybody likes Hogger, right? I mean,
yeah.
So we were like, yeah, let's do Hogger. And so we narrowed it down and decided that's where we're going to go this year. So it's Hogger all the way.
As someone who's been playing WoW since Wrath, I remember when you created a human going to Stormwind and like this little level 12 elite was there, and it was like a big deal to beat Hogger. Now he's at the end of that stockades or something, but whatever. It was oh my god. I'm excited.
So once progress starts on Twitter, she'll be tagging it with, I think, #Hogger Wanted, because the quest is Wanted Hogger.
Yeah.
So it'll be #Hogger Wanted. You can follow the progress on there. So that'll be gearing up the next few months.
I know that last time you guys were so disappointed that the job mechanism didn't work. Is that something that you guys are going to play into this one then?
This one should have a lot of articulation.
Okay.
We're trying a new concept of how to do it. We're kind of going with a technique that we've been wanting to do for a while, where one of the arms we're going to make is going to be puppeted by your hand. One of the other arms, we don't know whatever pose it's going to be in, will actually be not moving, and then we'll use an arm to puppet the head, so you get a lot of manipulation, a lot of movement out of it, and it'll be really, really cool.
Oh my god. I'm like, this is awesome.
You guys absolutely blew me absolutely blew me away. I had talked and I had kind of followed you guys, and I was like, oh yeah, they cosplay. And I'm like, my exposure before my first BlizzCon to cosplay was like, I'm in a Wonder Woman outfit at the local comic, like, and then to see you guys in the Goran costume from almost 2 years ago now, like, yep. I about just fell over. and every year the Gin costume was even better. And I can't wait to see what you guys like. All the respect, and for your wife and yourself, for what you guys do with the cosplay. It's incredible.
Oh, thank you. I do a little bit. I do wearing it, and then I do I help her with R&D and electronics and structures and stuff, and whatever other tasks I have the skills to do. But she is like the genius behind it. I think I'm like the wall that she bounces ideas off, and then. The funny thing is, I think I don't remember if we said it on your show before, but it was like she'll tell me she wants to do something, and I'll be like, well, maybe we should do it this way. And she has that attitude of like, no, I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to prove you wrong.
That
she
was
does
so
it.
fun.
So I guess I drive her that way.
I will say, Totally Drunk just had an awesome. Well, I don't know if this is what he planned it. If you're going to BlizzCon, cosplay as a level 1. It's really easy. Just like cut off some shorts and wear some flip-flops and then do like a raid on Hugger. Make it happen. Because I don't know if I'm going to be there and I need to see this. So
that would be awesome.
So if it happens, we might be having something really cool revolving around the cosplay that people can participate in. So we're trying to work it out still, but we'll release details about it once we figure out how we're going to do this. Like, but if your dress is a low level player, like it'll be perfect for you. So
yeah, cut off pants and like basically a t-shirt. Like that's all you get. So you can do this. Like you can cosplay as a level 1 and then pick up a stick off the ground and you're done.
Yeah.
Do it.
Throw a bed sheet over you and have another stick and you're like a mage or something. Yeah.
There you go. Just a bigger stick.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do it. Cuddles, you need to cosplay as a level 1.
I is one. I just show up like me, and I'm there.
Yeah.
Fine.
So there you go. That's the plans for the year, and we got till November to do it. So it's going to be like the race is on. It's crazy because like in the Facebook group that we're part of, like we're already seeing people like finishing their cosplays basically.
Oh my God.
And we're like, oh, every year it's like we got to get on this.
Oh my Lord.
But luckily, like I said earlier, if I can quit, when I get a job in a few months, then she will have plenty more time to work. Because usually we have to work on it. She works full time and has to work on it at night or on the weekends. Hopefully she can just devote her days to it and it'll be a lot easier this time. That's usually what drives her insane is the fact that it's like she only gets a few hours a day to work on it. So her little window of working is hopefully going to grow soon.
Oh my goodness. This is going to be exciting to watch.
You could be on Hogger watch here.
Oh yeah. I am going to be. Oh yeah. Okay, well I was expecting just like a little tease, but that was like amazing. So let's kind of something else that Kaz is involved in, Frozen Fox Media, which we talked about a little bit earlier. But you guys are growing. Like I'm seeing more podcasts kind of popping up here and there. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so it all started with the Morgenthau, and then we eventually added Overcast as Overwatch came out. And then a bunch of friends I have were like, oh, hey, let's, that we talked about doing podcasts before. And finally I was like, hey, you just let me know when you want to do it. And the Dirty Casual crew, those three, they started doing the Heroes of the Storm podcast. And we were like, hey, this is getting bigger and bigger. And all of a sudden my wife and a bunch of her friends started doing a general gaming podcast called Pause Screen. So we added that to the lineup and we're like, oh, we're getting even bigger. And then one day I was talking to Ro from Realm Maintenance and Rolling Restart. And he's like, hey, we should team up and I'll be part of the network and all this. And I was like, and he asked me about that. And I was like, he was like, if you want to and everything. And then I was like, you don't have to ask. Like, that'd be like me asking you. Like,
come here.
So I was like completely blown away and honored. So now we have 6 podcasts and we have Pixel Prowler, which is our video game news website that we're trying to grow. We're getting new contributors to it and hopefully doing video game reviews. And we have some more content coming down the pipe once I graduate. I wanted to do it earlier, but it involves doing something like every day. So it's something I probably can't do right now. But there's stuff coming down the pipe for that. It's going to be really cool. And yeah, the network has grown by leaps and bounds. And I never intended to get like gigantic. I just do the podcasts I do and do them the best I can. And all of a sudden it just grows and like snowballs. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty amazing. So, I mean, I'm so grateful for all the support that all the listeners give us on all of the shows that we have. And it's just outstanding. Like I'm completely floored that people love the content we put out. So it's a great thing.
Oh yeah. And listening to your guys' podcast, cause I was on the that Q&A that we did that I failed epically and glad I did not take the last question. You guys are just so excited too. Like you guys love this and you feed off of each other and it's just so amazing to watch you guys interact. At least you and Kaz, your other podcasts are great too, but specifically you and Kaz is what I'm talking about right there. It was funny. Like, I don't know if I've told the story, but like when we started doing it, I was doing the podcast with my friend Mike. We worked opposite shifts and it was really hard to get at night to get together. And I started doing that and then he couldn't do it anymore. So I started running solo for a few episodes and I was like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. Like, what do I do? And so I was talking to her about it and she was like, well, I'll be on the show with you if you want, if you need another co-host. And I was like,
because she hates like talking on the phone and recording and stuff like that. And when she told me, I was like, are you serious? Like, you really want to be it? And then we talked about it more and more. And she had just barely started playing World of Warcraft. And I'd been playing since the beginning. So we were like, oh, this is great because we have like completely different viewpoints of the game. And so it worked out really good. And as she's grown in the game and like learned more about the game, it's been really cool to watch that. And I think it is pretty exciting. And I'm glad that people like see that energy between us, that we kind of bounce things off each other, and we just have fun with it because, you know, we know that we're not like the best min-maxers, and we don't know like all the, you know, the deep lore of the game. I know a lot of lore, but I don't know like an amazing amount of it or anything like that. But we enjoy the game and we enjoy the community, and that's why we do it. And that's what makes this fun. It makes us excited and makes the whole thing fun, is just meeting people in the community. And that's why we try to spotlight them and have fun. Just, we always say that when we interview people on the show, it's basically our guilty pleasure of just getting to make more friends that way. So,
and that's what, because I adore Cuddles, but he came in and Warlords, and so sometimes when we have guests on the show, I'm like, oh yeah, I did that because I've been here a little longer. And you two definitely have that chemistry of Kaz being, well, I won't say she's new anymore, but she's still a newer player compared to you, so she can look at things and be like, no, just no. Whereas you're like, no, old school is so much better. Carrying arrows, having to have a bag set for that. But no, it's so awesome when you have that kind of dynamic to be able to see the perspectives. And I feel like that's how you build such a great viewer base, is because you can appease to so many people.
Yeah, I agree. I think people, they latch on it because we're relatable on different levels at that point. You know, people that are new, people that are old can relate to us, and they can enjoy like that kind of debate. I used to run a morning show on FM like a long time ago on 88.1 FM in Ogden, Utah. And me and my co-host, like, we had a lot of fun with that show, and it was a blast to do. And one day our station producer came in and he's like, we're canceling your show. And we were like, what? Oh. Canceling our show? And they were like, you guys do a great job and everything you do is technically great, but you guys are too similar. And that was like the problem they had with us. Like, we were too similar. Like, we always agreed on everything. We didn't have any diverging viewpoints or opinions for the most part. And he's like, it's just not enough. And so our show got canned after that. But you know, and so and that's, I guess, you know, with our shows now, we have a little bit of different opinions, and I'm seeing it work now. You know, but 10, 12 years later, I'm seeing this lesson play out in this content.
That is amazing.
but we have a lot of fun with it. We just got done with our Spreading the Love event for the month, and
yes.
That's where people submit their messages. We give them a form. They just submit a message to somebody anonymously, and we read it on the air. And you know, it's just a chance for people to just express their gratitude for people in the community. And if people ask me, they're like, "Well, do you know who submitted?" And I'm like, I have no idea. But it's really cool to see people's days made, and that's really what we want to do from the beginning, is just make the community even better. Because when we joined this community, we'd been on Twitter for a while, and through cosplay and other things, we started to find the Blizzard community. And we're like, this is such a great group of people, and so anything we can do to build it up, we're here to do it. And that's why we keep the show going. We have that community focus, a little bit of news. We'll leave the detailed news to the fan site and just talk about, you know, what's going on. So,
well, something I know I personally wanted you on the show before, because I know we have a ton of new Blizzard's just getting so big that some people don't play all the games, and you guys have your Overwatch podcast. So what would be your 30-second elevator pitch? I ask this to everyone that comes on the show, for someone who is either new to Overwatch or hasn't really gotten into it too much, kind of dibble-dabbled here and there. What would be your elevator pitch on how to get started?
My pitch to get started into Overwatch for anybody is literally to just jump into the game and understand that it's going to be an experience in shooters that you have not experienced before. That you don't have to be skilled, you don't have to be amazing. Like, that's the barrier that you see so much. If you have never played a shooter, you can jump into this game and start to pick it up really fast and really easy. Don't mind, you know, what people might say in the chat or anything like that. Just get in there and have fun and learn the game, and it'll just grab you. It'll take you in, and you'll love it. I mean, it's one of those things I see people all the time. They pick it up and they're like, yeah, this is just a lot of fun. Yeah, I've never played a shooter before, or I was never good at them, but I can jump in this game and have fun. The skill bar is so low that anybody can play. And if your skill is high, then you can go far and competitive. So it's a game that pretty much anybody, if you want to play a shooter, you can play it at whatever level you are.
I see, yeah, for sure.
So I've totally played it. The level that I played it, it's yeah, it's a little bit different than what. Like I actually feel bad when like there's few people. I don't think we've ever teamed up. Although I know that we're BNet friends, Frosty. But Totem and Wicked and a couple others that like my friends Giz that were like seriously hardcore. And these are people that like I feel bad playing with them because I'm like, I'm here to have fun. Like I'm gonna play May and they're like, we need a healer. I was like, that's cool, I'm May. Play a healer. I don't care. Like
I'm a May main, come on.
I main Genji, bro. That's
need
how
healing.
I roll. Need heals.
Yeah, we actually got challenged the other day. Overcast v Wickadella and her crew from Overplayed, and we got whipped pretty bad. And we're pretty good at the game, but we're not on that level. We did win one round out of the game, but so we didn't get shut out. But it was yeah. That's about all I'll say about that.
That was we had the C tier anniversary event. We did an Overwatch night with me and Cuddles, and then we featured Darius. And I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna suck. It's gonna be fine. But then I sucked worse than I thought I was going to. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go spectate now because we have more people than we need, so you guys can actually play. It didn't help that we had it on random hero, and you couldn't switch your hero. So they loved me at the end of that.
Yeah, I'm proficient with a few of the heroes, quite a few, but sometimes when I get in those mystery hero games, I'll of course get thrown into a hero that I hardly ever play, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna go die because that's the most effective way for me to get to do something.
That's what I did. I was like, I'm just gonna jump in the pit, and maybe I'll get something that I know because I don't know this one. No idea. But yeah, I love that. I love people because I think part of our podcast here, at least, is we have so many people, like I said, that just they're scared to jump into these games. So I love that you have that perspective of if you just want to play just to have fun, just do it. Like we're gonna steal Nike, just do it and go in, and you'll be able to do it. And your guys' podcast, I've listened to a few episodes, is great at just explaining things. I understand it, and I'm kind of a noob, so I feel like it has a great baseline for those that are newer coming into Overwatch.
Yeah, we try to keep it easy. It's almost like we do with Morgantown. Like you can go like if you want to listen like Overplayed, tons of the other podcasts, like they will take you deep into like the meta and how to do a lot of stuff. And we're like, look, we just want to like get you the facts. And there's lots of other fan sites and other people that can take you like way farther than we can. And we want you just kind of learn about the game, to enjoy about the game. We give you a little bit of we started doing the community cards where we just kind of introduce you to things that we think they're funny in the community. But we really just we're there to get you like the basics and kind of be like an introductory podcast. It's kind of where we started because when the game was announced, I jumped on and grabbed the Overcast show Twitter like as fast as I could, and the whole point was to be able we're going to introduce you to the game and here's what's going on. And of course, like you can't do too basic anymore because the game's been out for so long, but we still kind of want to keep it at that surface level. We don't want to go over anybody's head so that people kind of get a feel for it and then go deeper as they want to. But getting back to you talking about just do it. My wife can't play first-person shooters unless she's taking Dramamine. She gets motion sickness really bad with first-person shooters. And so I told her, like, because she can take Dramamine and she can play for about 15 minutes. And then she passes out because Dramamine just like knocks you out. But she can jump in and she'd like played McCree once in a round with me. And she was like, yeah, that was pretty fun. It was really cool. Aww. I was like, yeah, see, you've never really played a shooter in your life, but you can still get in there and enjoy it. I mean, she hasn't played very much since, but
she did. That's the important thing.
It was cool. It worked. So I was glad to see like somebody who has basically no experience get in and say, yeah, this is a pretty cool game. So,
which it is. I mean, a lot of people were worried because Overwatch was bringing out a game that wasn't like a sub game. It's like, what are we going to do with this? But I think they nailed it, especially when you look at like Call of Duty and all these other ones. I think Overwatch really does hold its own at being true to Blizzard. It's brilliant. Yeah. It's so brilliant.
Yep. Part of that mantra Blizzard has, right? Gameplay first. You give everybody good gameplay, and any skill level can take it on. So.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and I gotta say, even though like I love the podcast that digs so deep into the like we're one of those WoW podcasts. Like do we even talk about WoW anymore? Like I don't know. We're
a Blizzard podcast now.
Oh, thank you. That's
what everything
here. But no, it's like I can remember when I first started playing Hearthstone and listening to like podcasts like The Angry Chicken and stuff like that, and they're like just like what you were talking about. It was like, well, with the Druid Shaman, double Miracle Rogue like Jade thing, and you get the Freaky Fracky on the Fraggle Fraggles with the Jim Jams and the Substruts, and then Jello Pudding Pops. Like it's just like I don't even know what happens, but these podcasts that get people and break them through the like the surface of the game are so very valuable and very very much appreciated. I still listen to the Hearthstone podcast that got me into Hearthstone. I was in the Overwatch beta, but I still listen to you guys. Because I'm horrible at the game and you guys still teach me new things.
Yes.
So this brings us to a magical and wonderful time of the show, guys, where we get to do and ask and talk about shout-outs. Frosty, do you have any shout-outs?
So I want to, first of all, shout out to Room of the Moose. That's our raid team. Because we've been pushing super hard. We had some struggles. We had to switch out like tanks and healers, people stepping up now. We've gotten ourselves into a great place with a bunch of great people again, and we're having a blast, and we're making progress again. So shout out to them. And also, I want to shout out to the Discord. We just started the Discords for Overcast and for the Worgen's Howl. And both of these communities are fantastic. So thank you, everybody in those communities, for because I constantly am asking them, hey, what do you want to hear about in the show? Or ask them a question about the game, and they will give me all the answers and give us plenty to talk about every week. So thank you all for all the participation that you give us. I love it. Love the community we're building there.
Aww. Discord's amazing.
That's awesome. T, how about
bringing people together.
As for me, shout out to Azeroth Roundtable, of course, John Jagger and Ben Bumhofer. You guys are amazing. It was a great show. I'm sure it'll be up sometime soon if you care to listen, but it was a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of things. Shout out to Murtloc's Pirates and Dragons for running me through some mythic dungeons, especially Jermaine's. He's the one that has been bugging me forever. And finally, I was able to get that taken care of. And then shout out to CTR Guild because we've done some great events this week. We were there for AIE lost a member of their community, and we were there to show our support for their celebration of life is what I always call those ceremonies. But we were there to show the support for that. We had the recruitment event, and you guys killed it for that. And I'm just hearing right now that after 4 hours, 3 people were able to get their mounts in the Heroes of the Storm challenge that's going on right now that Cuddles and I actually started 4 hours ago, but had to come on here. So congrats, guys. That is amazing. But yeah, huge shout out. Convert to Raid. You guys have been killing it with that community teamwork and spec this week. It has been absolutely brilliant to see you guys come together for various aspects, especially for AIE. So that would be my general shout out for the week.
Yeah, I will echo first and foremost the shout out to anyone and everyone that was affected by the passing of J-Mains. I don't anymore, and talking about this I'm umming like crazy because it's always difficult to lose anyone. And people outside of our communities, our online communities, do not understand. They're like, oh, well, some guy on the other side of the country that you never actually met. Like, no, these are our friends. These are our family. This is... You guys know what I'm talking about. And AIE is an extension of family for Convert to Raid. Like, it really is. It's not officially. We don't, we're like the crazy uncle. I don't know. We're social on the holidays. But it hits close to home. It really and it truly does. Outside of that, I would like to thank our guest, Frostee Fox, for taking the time out of his very busy schedule. Frostee, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And also, thank you to your wonderful wife for allowing you to come on the show and taking some time, because we not just took time out of your night, we took time out of your life and your time with her. So thank you to you both.
She wanted me to make sure that you knew that it was a sacrifice, because we have to watch The Walking Dead later because of it.
No!
but we are more than grateful to be on the show. I'm every time somebody asks me to be a guest on a podcast, I am truly honored. I mean, never thought I'd be sitting here, but it is an absolute pleasure to be able to talk to both of you. You are both fantastic people in the community and in real life. So thank you for asking me.
Oh, I don't have words anymore. Where did they go?
He's like, let's just end the show now.
I'm a podcaster. I still have plenty of words. So, guys, it brings us to another wonderful, magical time that I think that you all enjoy a bit too much, where I get down on my virtual knees and I beg and I plead for those all-important 5-star iTunes reviews, my friends. Remember, it is 5 stars for the Game Case Show, 2 stars for, hey, bro, I'm a Genji main. Why don't you heal? Listen, back off. I just need a healer. I'm going to play Genji over here. You play whatever yous wants over there, all right? 2 stars for those horrible people. 5 stars for the Game Case Show. I don't know what I'm doing. Frostee, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Frostee Fox on Twitter, the same on Twitch. You can head over to frozenfoxmedia.com. Hit the show tab in the middle top, wherever I put it last, and you can get a link to all of our shows: Morgenthau, Overcast, Dirty Casual Show, Pause Screen, Realm Maintenance, and Rolling Restart. Or you can head to pixelprowler.com. Pixel Prowler is our video game news website. Lots of new stories coming down the pipe. 2 new contributors came on this week to write stories for that. So, and then I'll plug Realm Maintenance, with Ro, because if you're looking for podcasts, to deepen that podcast list that you got, head over to Realm Maintenance. I think it's realm-maintenance.com, actually. Head over there, and you can see all the awesome podcasts, which the Game Case is one of those.
What? Yeah, it's a thing.
You're on that list, man. You're on the list.
It is the thing. It's funny, like every now and again, we will struggle for a guest, and we'll be like, Realm Maintenance. Like,
yes.
Let's go to Realm Maintenance.
Who does a podcast?
Because it's hilarious. You don't realize. Like, I think of myself as a new WoW podcast, but there's much newer podcasts out there, and it's incredible. Like the new WoW podcast, a new Overwatch podcast, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful world. But the first place that you should check before you go to realmmaintenance.com is Frozen Fox Radio.
Frozen Fox Media now.
I always get that. Was it radio at one point?
It was radio. Now it's media because we expanded.
Okay,
but
there you go.
It still totally confuses me. So don't even hesitate. I mean, I still get on. I'll still start Overcast, and I'll still say, "Welcome to Overwatch."
That was take 1. We can do this.
That's my audition for Blizzard. Welcome to Overwatch. They should hire me to do the VO for it.
Hi, my name is Frostee Fox. This is the Overcast podcast. Today will be slightly so. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. I always try to Overcast, and then Hearthcast is the other one that I give you guys a hard time for. My friends do a World of Warcraft podcast, but it's called Hearthcast. Started way before Hearthstone, but you would think it's anyway. Guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Frostee, thank you so much. Turok, Thank you. Guys, why don't you say bye?
Bye.
Bye.
Hashtag Hogger. What is it?
Hogger wanted.
Hashtag Hogger wanted.
Thank you for listening to The Game Case Show. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. You can find Cuddles at The Game Case, Tourarts at Tourarts, and you can find the show at The Game Case Show. Join us live Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/thegamecase. Archived episodes are available at youtube.com/thegamecase. The theme music for the show is Celtic Impulse by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com and is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0.